Joining me today is John Abrams, who you know as one half of the duo, the Abrams, and they're from Kingston. Probably don't remember that we met this past June at the CMAO'S in Ottawa. The CMAO'S are one of my favorite events of the year. You don't remember.
I do. I remember, Chad. We had a great time.
Yeah.
Honestly, I love the CMAO'S for that. It really feels like a good country community.
Yes. This year was extra special because not only did you perform, but you took home some awards. That was for Roots Artist or Group of the Year. Congratulations. What is all involved in preparing for the event that we don't see?
Well, first of all, James and I just loved playing that event because it really just shows how much of a strong family around country music there is in Ontario. But to be honest with you, it's like any other award show. You're running around quite a bit, playing a lot, and going from event to event. But it's so rewarding and gratifying to be able to be a part of that community. James and I, we've been on the road 18 years, and we've done the CMAO many times.
I guess if you've been playing so long, too, you guys have this down to a science.
I'd like to think so. We kind of got running our tour bus down like clockwork. James and I, we're very fortunate to have grown up playing with 4 generations of our family who have all been touring musicians, right back to our great-grandparents who toured on the road in the 1930s. And so we were well prepared from an early age to understand what it's like to be a life event entertainer. Yeah.
Did your parents encourage you to continue the passion for a career in music, or because they've been there themselves that they hope that you would choose a different path?
Out of all 4 generations, we've definitely taken the music to the farthest out of any of our family. We've really turned it into a career. It definitely wasn't a hobby, but it was more of a pastime. They were performing, they were practicing the living room on Wednesday nights, and between our grandparents' house and my parents' farm is where they would have band practices. And James and I, when we were younger, we got started playing on violin, and pretty quickly we realized, just sitting there drawing pictures or passing the time while they're rehearsing, we thought, well, maybe get a little bit involved here because it seems like we're just wasting our time sitting around. So obviously the music was very infectious. We grew up on bluegrass, gospel, and old-time country, and even though we're playing much more contemporary country music now, you can hear the echoes of that tradition in what we're doing.
Yeah, it was kind of like that actually in my family too. It stopped at my mom and I. I can understand, just pictured in my head how it was going, even more so in your family.
Yeah, and it still happens. We try and get together as often as we can. Our dad is a musician. Our mom isn't as musical, but she always did the merchandise for us when we were kids and helped work on the website with those people and did all the marketing stuff. So it was really a whole family thing, and it still is when we're at home. How we recharge after being on tour is coming home and just kick back to the good old days of their family.
Right. You definitely have had quite a busy summer, not only with performances, but in July you put your house up for sale and moved amongst the craziness.
It was wild. I mean, it was a very busy summer. We had a house together downtown Kingston for 10 years. I moved in there when I was 19, and we both attended Queen's University for our undergrads. That was home base for us. But it kind of came time, my wife and I decided to get another place, and James just got engaged, and so it's been a big summer for us. He got engaged over in France not too long after we performed in France, actually. And it's a turning of the page, but I think those moments in life are the things that James and I love to try and capture in songwriting as best as possible. I'm probably going to hear something about the story of this summer on some record sometime.
This is one for the books.
Yeah.
So I'm sure one of the major highlights again this summer was performing at the American Tours Festival in France.
Yes, of course, yeah.
And I saw that Aaron Goodvin and the Roadhammers were also there.
Yeah, it was a great time.
Get a chance to see each other's shows?
Yeah, we did back-to-back on Canadian Country Night. This festival is absolutely phenomenal. They call it an American festival. What I mean by that is that there's rodeo and motorcycles and tractor trailers all souped up and muscle cars and country music and rock music, and the Scorpions were headlining there, for instance. It was like this crazy, amazing event that brought out all kinds of people from out of the woodwork in France who just obsessed with the West. And for us, it's fertile ground to be able to go over and play, because James and I have been touring over in Europe since we were teenagers. We have so many fans overseas. This was another opportunity to get back and play for our European fans.
This year, the Calgary Stampede invited you to come on out there as well, and the Stampede is still on my bucket list, and it looks like it is quite the party. Besides performing, did you guys do anything else there that was fun?
We always try and visit our best pal, Duncan Gort. He's one of our best friends from Joyceville, where we grew up just outside of Kingston. Like, the thing about the Stampede is you can just get swallowed up in the traditions that are out there. It's amazing. It's so cool to be a part of that. James and I have played it twice now. It really has become quite a Canadian institution, and so just the fact that we're sort of a small part of that history of the event is a pretty cool thing.
Do you guys actually have time to enjoy it, or is it just play and leave?
Well, sometimes it's pretty play and leave. I mean, we do bounce around quite a bit, and this summer was super busy, so we're flying every weekend. We really do try and take in as much as we can whenever we're in really cool spots. We always try and take a few days in between to really stop and reflect on the fact that we get to be in some cool places in the world and meet amazing people.
Yeah, that's good. And you also went to Boots and Hearts, and something special was released that same day, your latest single, Good Old Days.
That's right. Yeah, it's been a blast already. Now, that's a great song that captures the live show that we have, first of all, musically. It's a very high-energy song. James and I have always had a very high-energy country show. But lyrically, the song is about somebody singing to a loved one, saying, let's just take in the moment and recognize the good old days as they're happening, because we're going to be looking back at this moment and realize, oh, these were the good old days. So don't let the moments go by. And I think that's something James and I love to celebrate in our songs. But so many of these lines in here are literally taken right out of our life. They're super autobiographical about James and I driving on the highway in a beat-up van through the Badlands, filled with hope and optimism about our career. And if you listen to the lyrics of that song, even though it's about a couple singing to one another, James and I, in many ways, are kind of a couple, because the two of us as brothers were just together all the time.
When I was paying attention to the lyrics of the song, I couldn't help but have all these different visions of potential music video ideas you could do.
There's one coming out very soon. Good. I won't give it away, but it really does capture what it's like for James and I to be on the road. But particularly these shots of us at the front of tour bus just hanging out driving. James and I were 9 and 11 years old when we started touring. We're still in our 20s.
Yeah, I was going to ask you this next question, but you already answered it about what one of your favorite memories is from your childhood, and I guess that is having these types of experiences with your brother and jamming with your family at home and always bringing it back to that.
Absolutely. But I will say there's a couple moments that really do stand out. James and I, we got the opportunity to play on the Grand Ole Opry when we were 12 and 15 years old. And at that time, we were the youngest Canadians to do that.
Wow.
And that was a really meaningful moment for us because it was fairly early in our career. And that was sort of a watershed moment where we realized, hey, you know what? I think we could probably do this for a career. I think we should probably think about this seriously. And the fact that we were able to do that so young, but at the same time, we appreciated and understood the gravity of what it meant to be on that stage, to be there with Brad Paisley that night as his career was really taking off, and little Jimmy Dickens brought us on stage. There's nothing like being in sort of the mecca of country music down there and on that stage. So that's a big one for us. Another was when we put out a cover of Viva La Vida by Coldplay. We did sort of a country rock version of that song, and they started playing us on CMT in Nashville, and that was sort of what helped us launch our country career. And in order to be able to get the license to put that video out, Coldplay, they actually signed off on the video themselves, and they said they really loved our version. Just to have their stamp of approval from a band as superstar as those guys. Okay, I think we should keep this up. Those were particularly memorable moments for James and I.
Yeah, absolutely. So this song, Good Old Days, it's definitely very relatable and personal to you guys. Do you guys have a favorite place to write or something that inspires you?
Absolutely. I mean, we do a ton of our writing in Nashville. But as far as inspiration is concerned, James and I love meeting people after our shows. That's one of the things that we always try and do. And just chat. That's one of our favorite parts of this whole job. They often tell stories. And I often say on stage, you guys got to be careful telling the stories after the show because they're going to end up in songs. A lot of our inspiration comes from meeting people in small towns. We pull in those stories. When we're in writing sessions, this stuff just comes out. We love to be storytellers. We think that's the beautiful thing about country music. We always try and bring that element of story in real life.
That's a really good answer. I've never got that one before. So now that festival season is over, what's next on your agenda?
Well, it's still busy. We've got another tour coming up here in November all across Ontario. It's going to be a great time. Check out our website at theabramsmusic.com for all those dates. And we're already booking for next summer. We're in talks for more international dates. The new record comes out September 20th. It's going to be a big fall for us. We're very excited.
Awesome. Yep, November 8th, you'll be at River Run Center in Guelph, which is very close to my listeners here.
That's right.
November 14th.
We love it there.
Burlington Performing Arts Center, and 15th at the Living Arts Center in Mississauga.
We're excited to see you guys. Come on out and say hello to us after the show.
Absolutely. Thanks, John, for calling in. It was fun chatting with you. Be sure to check out the Abrams' latest single, Good Old Days, and order their album, Reminder. You can also follow along their exciting journey on Instagram. I wish you the best and hope that our paths cross again soon.
Thanks, Alexa.